February 12th, an openly gay 15-year-old boy named Larry, who was an 8th grader in Oxnard, California, was murdered by a fellow 8th grader named Brandon. Larry was killed because he was gay.
Dealing with that, the culture of, like, not being able to come out, or everyone's in the closet, like, we all kind of secretly know that, like, you're something, but you have to stay in the closet. But on the other hand, El Paso is also a really open community.
A lot of my work in literature has to do with masculinity and what it means to be a man. And so one of the things I became interested in is, coming from my own experience as a gay Latino male, is how do you define a man in that sense within Latino culture?
I went to an all-girls Catholic school, which was not the best decision on my part or on my parents' part. And when I was outed, because I didn't come out willingly, but when I was outed, the reaction was generally negative. Yeah, it was negative, and I was afraid and shamed of introducing myself as, who I am.
But still, after I got on hormones, for the first year I was still on hormones, I was still getting misgendered all the time. And I was so angry all the time. I was actually engaged, and we ended up breaking up because I wasn't taking care of my anger issues. I've been a target to a lot of things. Most transgender people, get in fights or are abused, or like 1 in 12 transgender people are murdered.
It's not the LGBTQIA community and then the rest of the student population. Mm-hmm. It's the student population as a whole. And like, yes, like LGBTQIA students have needs that may be more specific towards them. Like, I even saw it at UNM, which is a lot more liberal up there. People like shying away from queer people or not wanting to understand.
So one of the issues that I find with the El Paso LGBT community is that there are no visible community centers.
What we have is the bar scene. We have Pride Square. And the bar scene has always really been the most consistent, visible space in El Paso.
Couldn't find anybody because there's a lot of things for gay, lesbian. There's not a lot for transgender. There's almost nothing.
If that's the only space that's available to be safe, then you run into problems like alcoholism and drugs. I think it is going to change, and it is changing. The difference between the American family and the Latino family is that there's more emotion involved in the family.
I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of my support come from my mom. And then Last year, I was at UNM in Albuquerque, and I was the president of the Queer Straight Alliance there. So I found a lot of support through that network of people.
Catholicism plays a big role in Latino communities, especially in El Paso. And now, with Pope Francis, he's saying, we are no one to judge. Everyone is welcome. He's kind of turning around that discourse.
One of the best things that I ever did for myself was learning to understand other people and learning to want to understand other people and their ways of life.